You are listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast, a show by personal trainers for personal trainers. It's time to become a better trainer, get more clients, and change more lives. And now, here's your host, the head coach and founder of Fitness Mentors, Eddie Lester.
Hey guys, what's going on? Eddie Lester here. I'm extremely excited to announce the launch of our personal trainer mentorship, which is included with any bundle package of our CPT program as well as online personal training certification program. But I'm super excited to announce this, and over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing some of the calls that I've had that are included in this mentorship. And it's really going to show a ton of value of why, mentorship is so important as you get started as a personal trainer and then beyond as you grow your personal training business and online personal training business. So a lot of what you're going to hear over the next few weeks are going to be some great calls that I've had with our students that are all getting started and or growing their businesses or transitioning online. And it's going to provide a ton of amazing insight into the mentorship process as well as just where your next step as a personal trainer might be. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to my call with Joshua Dixon. He is basically transitioning into doing more online training. I think this is going to provide some wonderful insight for those of you that are in the same boat. I will see you over there.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. How about you?
Doing well. I just want to say, hey, thanks for taking the time. I love the content you put out. I listen to the podcast and get your emails and all that good stuff. And I really, really appreciate everything you have to say and put out there. And I got done with the online certification course a couple of weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that as well. So thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the Certified Online Personal Trainer course. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So let's go ahead and start with kind of an explanation of where you're at, what you're looking or working towards, and tell us about a little bit about your background and kind of we'll go from there and start the call.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I just have, a couple pointed questions, but basically a little bit of my background, the thing that kind of led me to, get into your services and everything. I've been a group trainer for about 3 years now. I was inside of a CrossFit gym up until last year. Yep. When it shut down. I'm sure it's a pretty common story for you, but mine shut down and it did not reopen. So that kind of led me to, try to figure out all right, what exactly do I want to do in the fitness industry? Where do I go from here? And then I guess it was kind of just, perfect timing where I was getting your emails and everything. And you were talking about, where the fitness industry was going and your podcasts and everything like that. And I think you were specifically talking about, the online training course. And I was like, okay, well, maybe that's a good route for me to go, kind of get more pointed into that and kind of broaden my range of who I can help. Because, inside of a gym is really great. I still love, coaching people in person and everything. But I think the idea of reaching a broader audience like that and not really being capped by how many people I can have in a gym really appealed to me. So over the last year, kind of, pursued that route and different things. And then it was, when was it? You had some kind of promotion or something over the holidays. And then that led me to say, you know what, I'm just going to pull the trigger and get started on this. So I got that bundle that was the online trainer certification as well as the in-person. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, this is the sign. I'm just going to go for it.
Love it. Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. So January 1st, I started the online training certification and slowly but surely worked through that. I had a goal to finish it much sooner, but life got in the way and everything. So I got it finished. And since then, I've kind of, been pursuing how exactly I want to go about that and kind of, fully figuring out the different things that the course walks you through. So yeah, that's kind of a brief background of me and my training experience and, where I want to go with it. So, yeah.
Awesome. And did you, besides the CrossFit gym, did you also have personal training clients privately or in a gym?
Yeah. So I did. So a lot of the stuff I did there was the group classes.
Yeah.
But as well as that, we also had a program to like start new members into the gym. So I was kind of in charge of that. It's a very like one-on-one personal training kind of feel because you're
Oh,
really
cool.
working with them and their weaknesses. So I did that a good bit as well. And that I think kind of piqued my interest in the personal training world. And then I started to acquire clients in that gym as well that just
Okay, cool.
wanted more specific training, or the class thing just wasn't for them. So I did that for a while too, and I'm still doing that
Yeah.
on the side a little bit as well while I'm figuring out, how to get my online business up and running and everything. So
Cool.
yeah.
So basically, as far as your goals, if you were to define them clearly, and then we'll kind of get into some of the questions that you had. What exactly are your goals moving forward from here?
Yeah, so that's one of the questions that I wanted to talk to you about, exactly like what kind of a smart next step would be. But my goal is to have like some in-person clients, still kind of like the hybrid model.
Yeah.
In-person clients, maybe a group class or two, because I still really enjoy doing that. But again, like I think the earning potential and the potential of people you can help is so big with online. I want to get that launched as well. So my goal is to kind of be that hybrid where I'm doing some, group classes, during the day sometime, like maybe for instance in the morning, and then with the rest of my day / afternoon, I'm kind of taking care of my online clients and everything. So that's where I'm wanting to go with it. And I hope that's a smart route. Again, that's kind of one of the questions I wanted to ask you, was just like, with where I'm at now, I finished the online training certification. There's just a couple of like business, things that I need to jump through before I would actually launch my online business. But I guess if you're ready to get into like my first question, then I guess it would just be, should I like go ahead and pursue the online business and get that up and running, or should I kind of keep that on the side a little bit and then finish my in-person training certification? Like if that would be beneficial to the online fitness side of things as well. So,
yeah, I mean, it sounds like you already have some good experience with training clients one-on-one, understanding, we'll say, their needs, the assessment process, the taking them through mobility work and that one-on-one interaction. So I wouldn't say that the in-person certification is a prime responsibility or a prime, we'll say, goal as of this moment. Obviously, because you have that, that's because you have that background and that experience already.
Okay.
When a lot of times from where you're at, the transition to online becomes an important, we'll say, step in that sense. So if your goal is to maintain your 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. clientele, is that kind of right in that respect?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
In that exact commitment, you have your income, you have your ability to support yourself financially, and however that works, you enjoy that. Then just like you would, we'll say, be taking care of clients in the afternoons with your online business, now what you can do is we'll say, build your online business in the hours that you expect to work with those online clients.
Okay.
So like that's 11 to noon or 12 to 1, you're eating lunch, whatever. After that, that's where you have a nice, we'll say, time period to focus on the building the online business, which a lot of times with building the online business is really just getting that first client or two, experiencing, how to run and manage it, how to best support your clients, and then building the kind of infrastructure based on your experience with those first initial clients. Obviously in the course, we show you how to do all of that. But really that first step is almost just getting that one client that you're going to have to go through the process of doing it, apply what you learned in the course with the real world experience of what you're getting, the feedback that you're getting, and then grow from there, if that makes sense.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So yeah, it sounds like, so my priority now should really be getting the online side of things up and running.
Yeah, exactly. And just to be a little bit more clear, a lot of we'll say online trainers and students that we've had, a lot of them get kind of tripped up and really slowed down in the thought of what to offer and how to help people and the services and the revenue streams. And they get really ingrained into thinking about this. But in my opinion, the most important thing you could possibly do is launch the business in whatever network that you have, offer to work with a few people for, less than what you might normally work, or just really just offer to or try to get a client or two, and then build your business as you really work with those people. Because you're going to notice what you might have think that your niche population wants, or your target population, what they want. Sometimes you just start to deliver this service, and it turns out they need something that's, a little bit different, and your experience gives you that input. So definitely do not get tripped up with like, when should I launch? It's really just throw a post on Facebook, or throw a post on Facebook, see what kind of traction you get, see if you can get someone to work with, and then as you go through that process, that's how you build your businesses, by working with those 1, 2, 3, 4 clients in the initial stages. And I think, gotcha. I think in your course, you should have the Facebook Success for Personal Trainers course.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So if you go into that we have a very specific setup and 1 or 2 or 3 posts for people just like you that are looking to get those first 3 or 4 clients. And it's basically the hey guys, I'm launching a new online training service. Would love to help a few of you for free, or however you want to word that. And you guys would be doing me a huge favor and helping me out. That's something that's super important, is if you ask for help from your audience, you'll get those 1, 2, 3 clients, pretty quickly in that respect, and just take them through the process that you want to take them through, and train how you have envisioned online training, and then go from there.
Okay, gotcha. And just to be clear, when you say the Facebook group, do you mean like the group that we're part of when we start the certification, or is this a different course?
So this is so in your dashboard on fitnessmentors.com or learn.fitnessmentors.com, you'll see the Facebook Success for Personal Trainers course.
Okay.
That it's in your dashboard. It should be, at least. If it's not, definitely reach out. But it's usually included in that package that you had. But then the post will obviously go out to where your niche market is, or your family, friends, and whoever you can really get that start with.
Okay, perfect. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I might have just not seen it in the side menu there or something, but yeah, very cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, that is hugely helpful. I guess my second question would just be based on my niche that I've chosen. It's anywhere from like 18 to, I think I said 35-year-olds. I've noticed that like a lot of people in my circle, and just, like acquaintances and stuff, are kind of in that stage of life where they're like landing like more like sedentary jobs, and they don't have time to hit the gym, and they don't know what to do if they do go to the gym, so they just don't. So I guess my main question is, like, I feel like that is a decent niche, but there's one problem that I've seen with it, is just that niche a lot of the times just not necessarily, either they don't have the resources to pay for it, or they're just like, they kind of think that, that, well, that's pretty expensive and I don't necessarily need to prioritize that now, or I'll figure out myself, or something like that. And I know that you went over it a little bit in the course, like how to get around that barrier. But I guess my main question is, like, do you think it's still like a feasible enough niche with, their revenue in mind and all that kind of thing? Or should I go after like an older, more like established niche, if that makes sense?
Well, so I mean, like you're kind of mentioning, it's super, super, super important as an online trainer to define your niche so specifically that you know the exact person that you're looking to attract in that respect. 18 to 35, you do run into a lot of different life changes in the sense of, college students maybe getting started on their first internship and career, all the way through a very established professionals that are 30 to 35 years old that have, 1 to 3 kids, or 1 to 2 kids. So first off, what I'd say is that which of those populations has the ability to pay? It probably would be that, getting settled in their major careers in that 27 and above, 28, 29, 30, 35 range. And then addressing the issues that those people have specifically in your content. Then creating packages that they can afford. Which when you're working with that 30 to 35-year-old population, that is your price range that you said might be too expensive for the younger crew is totally doable for that 30 to 35. Also, then be very specific about, do you want to train males? Do you want to train females? Do you want to, do these males have sedentary jobs and they feel like they're gaining weight every month? Do they have kids? I mean, when you're talking to the population that you want to talk to, make sure that it's so specific that you're able to connect with them in a way that's you're talking to them directly. And I say this all the time when talking about niche, but online training, I mean, when you think of a Facebook group, you can type in 30-year-old dads and those 30-year-old dads are all going to be experiencing the same stuff. Do some research, go into those Facebook groups, read their questions, and then create content around those questions. And then post it in that group, and then be active in those groups. And that's where, hey, I'm looking for 3 to 5 dads to help on lose 10 pounds of dad bod weight because of their new children. And that's where you're going to really connect. That's where you're really going to connect with a specific population with a specific problem or pain point, and it'll be talking directly to them, in which you're able to connect with them. And when this also goes into your point about pricing. When you talk to those people directly, they know your services are exactly for them. The price becomes significantly less of an issue because you're a specialist for that unique individual.
Okay. Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool.
But at that same time, if you're kind of open, you're like, hey, I'm looking for some guys that are looking to gain muscle. It's like, okay, like pretty much, most guys that they're like, okay. It doesn't really talk to anyone specifically, but if you mention that their kids are hard because they have 1 to 2 of them, their wife's nagging them, they're not getting sleep from their newborn or 2-year-old or toddler or sleep training or whatever that is. If you start talking to them directly, that's when you're going to have significantly better, we'll say, response from the population.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Well, that answers it perfectly. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense in that kind of context there. So yeah. Okay. Maybe I just, do need to just hone down my niche a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, for the most success that I've seen in online trainers is when they get so specific and so granular and find their audience where they hang out online, whether it be a Facebook group, a forum, you'd be so surprised when you type in groups for 30-year-old dads with kids or stuff like that on Google, how many forums and websites and Facebook groups and Twitter hashtags and all this stuff just pop up that immediately provides your audience. And then when you know them so closely because you're targeting them exactly, and you have thousands of people either in a Facebook group, on a Twitter hashtag, on whatever that is, and you put out content directly towards them, that's when the connection really happens. And like I said, with success, you are the expert at that person. And there's so many of them online, in your local neighborhood, you have, 20, 30 people that you can probably find that are in that exact situation. But online, you have thousands. Search what they search, research where they're at, find the forums, find the Facebook groups, find the, whatever social media or just websites that they visit, and then be active in those sort of areas.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool. Yeah, it's almost counterintuitive because you're like, well, if I make my niche bigger, then surely I'll have a bigger reach. But like this approach is like, okay, be specific. But then like my mind wants to be like, well, there's not going to be as many people there. But like what I think you mentioned the course too, like even within that minute of a niche, like there's still like thousands of people there, like you're saying, like, no matter
tens of thousands. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy to think about that, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's very helpful.
And just as a fun stat, there's about 180 to 200 million Americans looking for fitness or looking to participate in fitness. That's just kind of a normal stat. And no matter how specific you get, there will always be a large group of people that are in that exact boat. And I've seen this as specific as like fibromyalgia, 50-year-olds, females, early menopause, like to these specific niches that have thousands of people talking about it on specific areas on the internet. So
Wow.
once again, go as specific as you can possibly think of. Even like, the 41-year-old dads that teach t-ball and drink beer. I don't know. It's like go as specific as you possibly can, because when you talk to those people, that's when they're gonna be like, whoa, this guy knows me, and I definitely want to connect or learn more about what this guy does or follow him and that sort of stuff. So.
Okay, very cool. All right, awesome. Well, how much time do you have on your end? I don't want to.
I got time for another question if you got one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, just one more question. Let me see. I wrote down a little note here.
Cool.
Just want to make sure that. Yeah, okay. So that's a good one. So I guess my last question would just be, with my current experience level, like I've since the get-go been a little bit unsure what to charge price wise. And I know the niche probably plays into that a lot. Like, what do you think you can charge your target audience? But with me not having any online training clients now, do I need to keep it lower right now to kind of build up my clout, so to speak, and then I can start charging more? Or do you think even with my current experience, I can charge closer to what more experienced trainers would charge, kind of in my research and stuff like that?
Yes.
What's kind of the best route?
So this question can take many forms and many different avenues. I'll try to simplify it keep it as simple as possible. What is your niche, and get as specific as possible, because that niche will determine your, we'll say, pricing to some degree. Then there's value versus services, and the basically the client's perceived value of what you're offering. A lot of times we can always, we'll say, under promise, over deliver. You'll hear a lot. Make the value seem so high that the cost doesn't matter. And that's done a lot through your, we'll say, marketing content, what you put together, and you can basically, what your goal is, maybe you're thinking as an online trainer, is I'm going to help dads lose weight and get their bodies back. But what you're doing is you're providing them so much more than that. And if you can communicate that effectively, in the sense of you're going to be able to we'll say, avoid issues that your parents had, or early death or heart attack. There's so many ways that we can go in. I don't want to spend too much time there, but and then you have the psychology behind pricing, which is the consumer's thoughts matter the most, I'd say. And when you utilize specific, we'll say, pricing techniques that are based around psychology, you can charge whatever you want as well. So always have an extremely expensive package, whatever, 2 to 3 times what you want to charge and want to get as your top package, triple that. Literally that means if you want to be if you want to sell $250 packages, have a $800 package, maybe a $500 package, a $250 package, and a $150 package. Because what you're doing is there's a psychology that the consumer is going to see, and it's oh yeah, that $700 one's a little bit too expensive. Oh, the $500 one, but maybe that $250, that might be good. So there's a psychology around that. And then I want you to look at one of our podcasts called How to Price Your Virtual Nutrition Coach Services and How to Price Your Online Training Services. I think they're around number 20 to 25. It goes into understanding value creation in relation to the consumer. And there's a ton of good tips in there that will help you kind of understand that really there is no number that you should focus on ever. It's really, what is the value that you're bringing, and how can you effectively communicate that value to your specific niche? And that's why niche is so important as well, because if it's dads that golf and you have an element of golf in your training, that's also, but they have kids and they are they drink a lot of beer and they're overweight, or, and you build this program for that person. There's no one else in the world doing that. So your value all of a sudden becomes, I am one of one, and I'm not one of, and you should never compare your one of oneness to any other services in the industry because you got so specific.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, like I mentioned, have a stupidly expensive package, because occasionally someone will buy that. And if nobody does buy that, they're buying the one under it, which is more than you expected, more than you would have made had you not had that $100 or that super expensive package.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. That answers it. Very cool.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's definitely keep in touch. I want to hear all about any steps that you're taking, kind of, if you're throwing that post up to get those first 3 clients, to kind of work with and build your services around. Just keep up the good work, and extremely stoked to chat with you.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much, Eddie. Really appreciate it.
But and let's shoot me an email when you throw up that post. I want to hear all the responses.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Will do. Thank you.
All right, Josh. Have a good one.
All right. Nice meeting you. Bye.
Cheers, bud.
As always, thanks for listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. You can learn more about fitness mentors at fitnessmentors.com. Be sure to share this podcast on social media. And remember, we are here to help you succeed.